Hey there, Gavin Gear here from Ultimate Reloader. I am here at SHOT Show 2019 with Jon Patton from the Gun Collective.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. It's just too much fun. And you know what my takeaway from the SHOT Show is? If the days were just twice as long, I think we could get it all in.
Maybe, if we're lucky. I don't know if we could do that.
I was walking from my hotel towards the show, copying files from my SD card to my SSD drive.
Are you walking with a laptop?
I was. I have the video.
Just crying. Dude, I get it. I totally understand. It's a total grind. It's a hustle to get everything done here. There is so much to see. Have you ever heard the stat about how long you could spend at every booth if you wanted to see everything here?
Or how many miles you'd have to walk in order to cover it all. How much time would you need?
22 seconds at each booth. 22 seconds. That's it. And that's assuming it didn't take you an extra amount of time to get through the crowd across the aisle.
Crazy.
It's big.
What I really like about being here is the people that are here. Like, I'm an
Yeah.
avid follower of Brian Litz,
Okay.
Applied Ballistics,
Yeah.
and I actually got to talk to him for like 45 minutes on camera,
Really?
and I asked him all the questions that I've been wondering about, G1 versus G7, and just all this stuff. He told me his own load development methodology. I'm like, oh.
Wow, dude, that's huge, and there's no other way to do that than at an event like this where literally everybody's here.
Yep.
It's funny, we sat down for lunch the other day, and I said to my cameraman, he's first timer here, I said, okay, turn around. Jerry Mitchell's eating lunch behind you, and he went, it's just, it happens. That's the way it is here.
Yeah, absolutely. So if people want to know, what's going on with all the products, I'll just have them head over to the Gun Collective.
Sure.
What I wanted to talk to you about is, I did a dinner with some up and coming gun tubers,
Sure.
and what they're doing is they're sharing hands-on experiences. West Desert Shooter, Vaughn Precision, some of these guys, and they're just telling their story. But for some of them, it's like, I want to really grow my channel into a community, into something big, and you've done that very successfully. So, and if you wouldn't mind, can you break down your methodology or give people advice with regard to taking a channel from something with 500 subscribers up to something more meaningful?
Sure. So one of the main things that I think a lot of people miss is consistency. So regardless of what that means for the creator, you have to be consistent. So if you're like, I'm going to release a video every week, one a week, which is a decent pace, or even one a month or two a week, whatever that means to you, you have to stay on that, because it means that you're regularly interacting with your audience and giving them something to come back for. Like, hey, I'll see you next week. Hey, you know what I mean? Just constantly doing that. And we've been able to do that with TGC News because it's been on Monday evenings since the beginning. Just constantly, hey, we'll see you next week. We'll see you next week. And also in that same consistency vein is consistency of content. Obviously you can move and grow within your own content, but giving people what they expect from you, or having a conversation about what to expect, also kind of builds into that consistency. And again, the presentation matters. So if you're deviating really far, you've got to bring people with you. You've got to explain how you got there. So I think consistency is a big deal. The other thing is, a lot of guys get caught up in what does the audience want and what's going to get views.
Right.
And the reality is that if you're chasing views, you've already lost. You have to create stuff that matters to you, because if you're not creating things that matter to you, you're going to lose energy, you're not going to enjoy it, and it's just not going to last. I mean, I've seen plenty of guys over the years. I mean, for those of you that may not know, I had a channel before TGC, and because I've been doing this since about 2010, I've seen people come and go. You've stuck around for quite a while, and I've seen a lot of guys just give up because they haven't punched through. They haven't made it to where they wanted to go. But if you consistently do things that you believe in and that make you happy and you're passionate about, then you'll continue to win. And on top of that, you bring an audience with you. So understanding that there's like smaller kind of markets, so to speak, within the gun community, you can be the best at that market.
Yeah.
You know this.
Yes.
You understand this. You know,
Well,
like
I didn't want to be just another photography blog, right? Everyone in the whole world wants to take beautiful landscape pictures or portraits. And when I got on YouTube in about 2007, and I wanted to share content about reloading presses, it was like there was like one video on the Hornady Lock and Load AP, and I thought it was just for me. I want to share. That's where it started for me.
Right, right, and you had a passion for it, and you kept at it. You consistently delivered content and built that relationship over years with your audience, and that is how you grow. It's the most simplistic thing around is you just do what you love, do what you're passionate about, and keep going. Just keep at it. One of the other things that I think a lot of guys miss is there's a phrase I use called content is king. So the content matters more than anything else. If the content is subpar, your audience will know that, and they'll be able to see right through it. So create the best that you can with what you have. It's not about the camera. It's not about the audio. I mean, there are guys, you look at a channel like Demo Ranch, right? Immense following. Do you see him out there getting cinematic shots all the time? Right. Like, no, that's not what it's about. You can be huge, or you can be the biggest in your subsector or whatever you're in. You can be the biggest and not focus on the nitpicky stuff that may not be something you are good at or want to do. Yeah. So many people get hung up on the minutia of it all. Yeah. And I think you can be successful without doing that. As long as you're true to yourself, you bring people along with you.
That's the key word, I think, is being true. Because I think if you can find something with purpose and meaning, you guys have created a community around advocating for the sport and advocating for the community. That's a huge purpose and meaning. For me, it's a lot of the technical hands-on stuff. And then if you can be the truest form of yourself. I used to coach people at Microsoft doing presentations and stuff and doing pro video and whatnot. And you're talking to them, it's really natural, and then as soon as you hit record, they just stiffen up, and it's like, if you could just be that person I was talking to 5 minutes ago, it would be a lot more compelling.
That was actually something we worked on with Adam, who's filming a video right now in a booth next door. Years ago, he didn't want to be on video. We worked at a gun store together, and I forced him to be on camera. And he was kind of clunking his way through it. And as the years have progressed, he's gotten better and better and better. And doing it consistently and always trying to push forward. I mean, you're gonna improve. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're gonna find your voice. And I mean, I could talk about this for hours, man.
One of the things I've been surprised by is the attention span seems to be growing for certain types of content. Like, someone like Johnny's reloading bench, he'll just be sitting there and working with the rifle for like 40 minutes. And people are like, yes, you put up another long video. So
you want to know why I think people watch him? I don't know that he knows this, but he is a very good storyteller. The structure of what he's doing is a very good progression through a story. And that there's all kinds of stuff that you can get into as far as structure of content and things like that. But the way he delivers the information is very conversational. It's not trying too hard. He's himself, and that's why he does well. Yeah, that's exactly it.
And it's like there's different channels that bring a different style and a different value proposition. And I used to view it as competition initially, and then you featured me as Gun Tuber of the Week, and I was just amazed at how many people came over, and they were so loyal to TGC. They were like, John from TGC sent me, and all that. And that kind of inspired me to view it more as a community. And for us channels, it's hard to be a channel, to be a gun tuber. Everybody wants to shut you down,
yes,
and
that's true.
And it's like we got to support each other. And
we are our own community. Like, we have to stick together because the phrase I like is all boats rise in the tide. That's how we all win collectively. We all are on the same page, fighting in the same direction. Yep. And yes, there's people doing different things, and we may not all get along, and there's drama from time to time, but the core is, generally speaking, we're all moving in the same direction, fighting for the sport, the Second Amendment, all of those things. We're all pushing that direction. So if we can find opportunities to help each other, to work together, it's great.
Yep. And on that note, I'm feeling more and more strongly there's things that we need to do. We need to get kids off of video games and outside and reloading and shooting. We need to get more ladies involved. We need to make sure that our kind of environment is respectful and invitational. My daughter's starting to shoot.
Sure.
She outshot a pretty impressive shooter on my ranch, and it's like I gotta really lean into this, because the next generation is going to have huge political influence, with what happens to our rights.
Right.
And if they're more content playing video games than they are being out really understanding the real world, what does that mean for our rights?
I think there's a way that we can bridge the gap. There's a way to reach younger viewers. People, it hasn't been as bad in recent years. I think we've gotten better as a community, but for a long time it was, that kid doesn't know anything, he just plays video games. Well, guess what? That kid that's 14 playing video games is likely going to be a gun owner, has potential to be a gun owner in a couple years. So rather than shunning them for enjoying Call of Duty or something like that, because I love gaming. I think it's a riot. Like, I used to play for 8 hours a day. I'm not even kidding. I would come home from work and just sit down and play for 8 hours. So I get it, right?
Yeah.
I understand it, and I think instead of shunning people, we should be inclusive, like you're saying, building that relationship with the people that may not be true enthusiasts.
Yep.
Maybe they're on the fringe, maybe they're just kind of dabbling,
Yep.
but always being welcoming and friendly is massive.
Yes, that is a really good point. There's something to be said for don't knock it until you try it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the folks that come down really hard on guns have never shot a gun. And a lot of people have an awakening, when they pull the trigger and they realize this is something really meaningful, right?
Yeah.
Inherently.
Yeah, you're not kidding at all.
Yeah.
You're not kidding. Having that olive branch and offering it to people is huge.
So invite an anti-gun person to the range, get them comfortable, invite them into the sport, and if they don't like it, fine, but at least they've tried it. I'll get off of my pedestal now. I do want to talk to you about Valkyrie, because we both...
Speaking of Demo Wrench, there he is.
Oh, wow. Nice.
That's very funny that we brought him. He's just walking around.
You never know who you're going to see here.
SHOT Show, yeah.
Okay, so we've both been hands-on with Valkyrie this year. I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about that.
Yeah.
It has been a roller coaster.
That's an understatement. I think that's an understatement. We caught a lot of crap for our Valkyrie videos. I had high expectations for what that cartridge was supposed to be. So the last video we made where I kind of said, look, I'm done, I made a lot of I wouldn't say bold statements, but I made very definitive statements. I said, look, this cartridge does not matter unless you're shooting heavy bullets, in my mind.
Yeah. It's the point.
Right. That they said, hey, it's 1,300 yards, and it's this incredible thing, and in my experience, that has not been the case. I know you've gotten great results. There are other people getting great results. I've seen a lot of guys saying, hey, I get these amazing groups, yada, yada, but oftentimes that I'm finding, it's with lighter projectiles, like 75 grain, 77, and to me, if you're doing that, shoot 223. There's no reason to spend the extra cash trying to get a Valkyrie to work if you can just shoot a 223, which has been proven. I think it was released a little early. I think there were a lot of hiccups, and issues of stacking tolerances with bullet design, chamber spec, blah, 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 blah. You guys know. I've had a rocky road with it. I really wanted it to work, and maybe sometime down the road I'm going to revisit it, but I think, it was just a swing and a miss for me.
Yeah, and then for me, I came in a little bit later due to some delays with partners and stuff like that. I got a Sammy spec reamer. I built 2 rifles, 1 bullet rifle.
You reamed the barrels, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I machined them on my Precision Matthews lathe. And I started with the lighter projectile, Nosler 70 grain RDF, 0.3 MOA on the drone, recorded at 600 yards. And then I pushed it up to the 88 grain ELDM, and things degraded just a little bit, about half MOA. And
That's still great.
No, it's totally good enough. And my SD is 12. I just put in a 1,000-yard range at the Ultimate Reloader outpost.
I'm so jealous. Of that.
Lots of hiking involved. You'll have to come out and try it sometime. But the weather has been so bad lately, literally with the snow and whatnot, I haven't been able to fully test it. My first 1,000-yard try, I wasn't even on target. I don't even know what the wind was. I'm in a deep canyon and all that. So I've gotten good results so far, and I think I'm near the finish line. If I can get those 88s on target at 1,000, and if I can get the SMK 90s and 95s to shoot either one of those, I will say, for me, mission accomplished, because it's about the AR, it's about 1,300 yards, and you're not going to get there without those long, high BC bullets.
Sure.
And you're pushing things to the limit. People don't understand this is a hot rod, right? It's like a a 450 horsepower Mustang with nitrous. You can't expect that to be friendly in a daily driver scenario. Everything's being pushed to the limits.
You know what has been the most frustrating for me? We've had a lot of guys telling us to reload and you'll get better results, and I agree. I mean, that's generally a good. You reload and are more precise about what you're doing, bullet selection, etc. You're going to get better results. But what has frustrated me with that cartridge is the factory offerings, both in rifles and ammunition, have fallen short by a long shot. And to me, a cartridge that is supposed to be this incredible thing should just be this incredible thing right out of the gate. We shouldn't be the media guys, and the consumer should not be the R&D department. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, there's two Facebook groups, Valkyrie Ascending, which is about bolt-action rifles, and then the Facebook group around the hand loading.
Sure.
And what a great source of information for the industry. Now, again, release too early? Absolutely. Hopefully they'll take their learnings and apply them. And where we need to get to is where you can pick up a rifle off the shelf, you can pick up that factory ammunition, and it will deliver on the promise.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's really what everybody just wants, because you can do that with lots of other things. Go get yourself a 6.5 Creedmoor off the shelf, a decent quality gun, and get yourself some, I don't know, Hornady ELDM 140s, and that stuff will shoot. Yeah. Generally speaking, you know, without, there's obviously nuance to it, but generally speaking, that'll shoot pretty well. Yeah. And the fact that you can't really 100% expect that out of Valkyrie right now is a disappointment.
Absolutely. And so it'll be interesting to see what the next year holds.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. I mean, I would love for them to continue developing and continue pushing it. I was just upset that, you know, the consumers were made an R&D department. Mm-hmm. You know, that's not fair. That's not fair. But they know. I've said all that publicly before. They know that.
Well, let's continue the dialogue. I'll keep you posted on my results.
I'd love to hear it.
And then we'll see what happens. So a lot more we could talk about. If you have the dream of starting a YouTube channel, do it. Be consistent. Have a strategy, and you know, be invitational to your audience. Be the best person that you are. The most genuine form of yourself. Yeah. And
bring people along with you in whatever journey you're on. If that's testing rifles, if it's precision shooting, if it's reloading, if you're a guy that loves, you know, tearing things down and cleaning them, or if you're somewhere in between, or if you're a new shooter, whatever you are or you feel like you are, be that. Mm-hmm. Don't try to do the gun collective if that's not you. If you want to do that, sure. Don't try to do Ultimate Reloader if that's not what you do. That's, you know, be you and be the best version of you that you can be. All the time, forever, always.
Yep. And there's always something new to do. There's always new people to meet, new rifle platforms, pistol platforms to try. It's an endless journey, and that's what's kept me going since 2007.
There's so many awesome things to shoot, try out, so many variables to be tested, and you know, just have fun with. That I mean, we have enough videos right now on my whiteboard at home where everything gets written down. I have enough videos for an entire year. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is the reality of it. Yeah. There's 7 days a week and 52 weeks a year. Go have fun.
And I have to publish every other day this year to keep up with the content backload, and I'm a one-man band. I'm editing 4K multicam videos on...
Yeah.
You know how it goes.
Yeah, I do know how that goes. I wish you Godspeed, sir.
Lots of patience, lots of time. Anyways, John, I really appreciate you joining me.
Of course.
You know, I hope this conversation was helpful to you all, and I got a lot more SHOT Show 2019 content coming up. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to stay up to date, make sure you subscribe to GavinTube with notifications. Subscribe. Thumbs up.
Get the bell on,
Get the bell. Until next time, happy shooting and happy reloading.
Bye.